Hello, this is Brandon Wimbley. Today we are going to be learning about least common multiples and why we need to find least common multiples. So I'm going to start off with an example for why we need those least common multiples. If I have 1/2 plus 1/4, I have to find their least common denominator. If I'm good with my least common multiples, that I know that I am after today's lesson, I know that their least common multiple is 4. Now I have that common denominator, so I just add my numerators and I leave that denominator the same. However, if I do not know my least common multiple, then I'm stuck. So today we're going to learn what that least common multiple is. I like to use this graphic organizer. It is a giant M. You do not have to, but just for today's purposes, we're going to use this to help organize our thoughts. So what I do is I have two numbers that I'm going to find their least common multiple, 8 and 12. And how I use this graphic organizer, I put one of those numbers over to the side and the other one over on the other side. And now multiples, I have to make a list of multiples. Multiples, if you remember, is repeated addition, 8 times 1. Then 8 times 2, and I know that is 16. 8 times 3, these are all multiples. You can see I'm adding 8 each time. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 8 is 24, or you see I'm multiplying each time. For myself, I always like to make a list of 5 multiples and see if I see anything that is in common between them. So my last one would be 8 times 5 equals 40. And then I take my multiples and I just make a list right down the middle, or right down the left hand side. And so you see I took all of these and I just moved them to that inside of the M. I'm going to do the same thing for 12. My 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. 12 times 4 is 48. And that last one, 12 times 5 is 60. I'm now going to look and I'm going to see, do I have any that are the same? Any numbers that I see are the same on the left side and the right side. And oh, look, I see right here that 24. That 24 is my least common multiple. So here, if I had a fraction that had an 8 and a 12 on the bottom, I know that least common multiple is going to be that 24. And so we'll do a adding fractions lesson later. We're going to look really quickly at what the terms least common multiples mean, and then we'll be done with today's short lesson. Least common multiple. This least means I'm looking for that smallest number. Least being a synonym in this case for smallest. Common means same in this instance. Something that is common, or people that have something in common, means they have something that is the same that they can relate to. And multiples, that just means I'm multiplying times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4. Multiple meaning that multiply. Times 5, until I find one that's the same for my left side and my right side, or each of those numbers. Alright, I think that will do it for today's lesson.